Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy Show. We're down here in beautiful downtown Boca Raton, and it's hot as all fucking hell. I mean, my car thermometer said 98 degrees. I know you like it, Govy, but it's starting to heat up down here. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, X, Apple Podcasts, and let's talk winners and losers. Cutty's a winner. If you saw last week's show, it was right before the day of the decision of the Trump trial. Govy said Trump will get a hung jury. Cutty said he's getting indicted, and we bet $10,000. Here's the check, folks. Govy gave it to me, $10,000. I got it.
But what happens, like we discussed, when the appeal comes through and he gets off? Then it's...
No. That's done. He's convicted. He's going. So now I'll give you a chance to get your $10,000 back. This is the bet. I say, you tell me if you want to make the bet before we make the bet. I say his sentence, July 11th, is home confinement, 6 months. He misses the convention, and he can't campaign for 6 months. Double or nothing on the $10,000.
Double or nothing. There's no way that happens.
Wow, you must be selling a lot of watches.
There's no way that happens. There's no way, because the Supreme Court will take this case because it's an unusual circumstance. They're not going to have the leading guy going. They're not going to do that.
Okay, folks, for our 300,000 plus listeners, this is the bet. Govy is betting me another $10,000. I say Trump, July 11th. They take him away in court in handcuffs, or maybe they don't handcuff him because of the Secret Service. But he gets 6 months house arrest, and he can't go to the convention 4 days later. Govy says, no way.
You're being very nice and generous to give me the thing back because you're going to lose
All
it.
right, that's fine.
And to let you know one thing, the reason why it's also going to be important is they're resting their case today on the Hunter Biden case. Basically, it's going to go to the jury in 5 days.
I'll make another bet on
Now,
Hunter Biden.
wait. And I'm saying he's getting off.
Oh, so what? So do I.
Okay, so he's going to get off only because the jury in this case is home cooking. And now the country is going to turn around and say, okay, you got President Trump there. They come up with these bogus charges, and they have him guilty of a felony. They have Joe Biden that the special counsel said he's too old to prosecute, but they won't release the audio tapes. Hunter Biden is dead in the water with his own audio tape. By the way, he used his own voice on the audio book thing. Everybody heard him say.
So why do you think he's getting off?
Because it's going to take a couple of jurors. You got the first lady sitting in the front row, looking at all the jurors. They're from Delaware. Somebody is there. It's already guaranteed there's going to be a couple, and that he's going to get off.
Well, I just think it's a stupid case. I don't even think they should have brought it.
Get out of here.
No, why are they bringing it in? I mean, they're punching police officers in the face. They're robbing 7-Elevens. They're going into Gucci, Louis Vuitton, stealing things in broad daylight. Why are you chasing down this guy? You're spending 2 weeks of government money. You're spending all these resources.
Because
why waste your time?
Because you missed the history of it. If you go back.
Go ahead.
No, if you go back, they had him dead in the water on tax evasion. Dead in the water on tax evasion.
That's a separate case.
Wait, but they had a special counsel.
Right.
And the special counsel, David Weiss, who is the same guy prosecuting this case, this firearm case, lets the statute of limitations run out on all the years of the Burisma, all the years that you could link Joe Biden with him. So now, and even on this gun charge, they made a special deal where there was no jail. Hunter Biden was so greedy, he turned down the original deal, and he wanted immunity forever of anything future.
But who cares?
It took a judge. They signed off. The judge is saying, wait, no.
It's a waste of newspaper print. I mean, the guy's a loser.
David Weiss has pressure on him right now. He knows that most likely there's someone in this jury that's going to find him innocent, but he's going to play his cards because he has to. He has to do what he has to do.
It's crazy that this Abby Lowe probably getting a couple $1,000,000 for the 2 weeks on trial, and that Sugar Father, what's the guy, the father, the guy,
the guy,
Sugar Bro was paying for it all.
But
what's he get in return? Does he get a free country? Does Joe Biden?
I'm sure there's
give
a
him?
Documentary and stuff. By the way, do you know what who he represents as the lawyer?
Yeah, he did that cartoon.
South Park.
Yeah, South Park.
It's not just any cartoon.
Boy,
It's South Park.
I think he has to be the owner of South Park too, part owner.
I don't know. Maybe he has something involved. But I got to tell you something. When there's people out there that watch General Hospital, Guiding Light, all these soap opera bullcraps. We grew up with Dynasty and Dallas and shows like that. Here's a case where you have the President of the United States, they have his son standing trial, and you have his current wife, Cohen, who he, by the way, knew a total of 2 weeks before he got married. 2 weeks. The family didn't even meet her when they got married.
Was she pregnant?
No. But she got pregnant
after 2 weeks, she wrapped it up.
He needed to marry her or something. I don't know.
Wow.
She's from South Africa. I don't even know if she's American.
Right.
So she is sitting in the front row with his stepmom. Also in the front row is
Dr. Jill Biden.
Dr. Joe Biden. Also in the front row is his half-sister, Ashley, who was down in Delray, who left her diary as she was in the rehab place.
Right.
Because she was hooked on crack cocaine too. So there's those three are in the front row. Then you have his first wife that he has 3 kids with that finally said she couldn't take it anymore because he was just on crack. They were finding his crack pipes everywhere. And she's there. She's there testifying against him. Then she has to listen to her ex-sister-in-law, who, oh, big fan, that was her sister-in-law, who all of a sudden decides that is going to now be his romantic girlfriend. And she is going to try crack, and she gets hooked on crack. And she then...
This is Beau Biden's wife.
Beau Biden's wife. Widow. Then they have to watch the girlfriend who comes in here that he met at, some club, gentleman's club, whatever. And she's now partying at Montmartre with him, the hotel.
Well, he was living good.
And, by the way, gave her a code that she can go into the bank and withdraw money, and everybody had an individual code. So even his drug dealers could go into his bank and push in a code and get money. Then you still have the girl that had his kid in Arkansas that he denied. She's also coming. So all this is coming there. And some of the witnesses, because Joe Biden said, the smartest person I know is my son Hunter.
He went to Yale. Yale Law School.
And this guy left his laptop and said, I didn't leave it for a day or a week. They kept calling him saying, can you please pick up your laptop?
But let me ask you this question, Gabby. If you leave your laptop at a repair place, is the guy supposed to go through your pictures?
He didn't. At first, he said, you need to pick up your laptop. He was refusing to pick up his laptop. The guy wants to get paid.
Oh.
I mean, who?
Who turned him into the FBI?
The guy called the FBI.
Why? He must have went through the laptop.
No, he first had it over, or someone else maybe went through it. But he said it belongs to Hunter Biden. I think he actually...
Like if I take my computer to...
I think Giuliani went through the laptop.
But if I take my computer over to Best Buy's, the Genius Bar or whatever, and get it repaired, I'm assuming they're not rooting through my files.
No, but after X amount of time, they then are allowed to take possession of it. After time goes by and you try to make things for you to pick it up, you then become in possession of the laptop.
This is what I think they should do.
And wait a second.
Because this happened to me.
He wrote a book, too. He wrote a book that he had to go on ABC News and talk about, and then he made the audio version of this book in his own voice, not someone else's voice. So when the court is listening to, hearing about his drug use, they're listening to his own voice saying, yeah, I do crack every 20 minutes. I snort cheese off of the carpet thinking it's crack. They're hearing a drug addict.
His own voice. This is what I think they should do. I don't even think they should have brought the case. I wouldn't have bothered. But since they're there, because it happened to me. I was in litigation, somebody accused me of doing drugs, and I denied it. And the judge called a mobile testing lab on the spot and wouldn't let me leave. Right there on the spot, tested me. That's what they should do with Hunter Biden right now. Test him today and see if he's doing drugs.
I say he passes right now.
You think with all this pressure, the guy's not doing, he's a crack addict, and he's got all the world of pressure underneath him right now. He's not doing drugs?
I think he's 100% 24/7 on lockdown with Joe. He spent the weekend there. Don't forget,
didn't he get cocaine in the White House?
He did,
okay.
but that wasn't the trial. Now comes something that you said. Maybe they might say, maybe his lawyer might suggest do that. They might say if he's really a drug addict, do the test.
Yeah, that's what I say. Make him do a test right now. Okay, you're clean and sober. You were clean and sober back then. Let's
like
see if you are now.
Fits.
You must have quit.
Yeah, but that's. I don't think that's right. I think the guy was on drugs. Even though I think it's a bullcrap charge. I think all this stuff with the gun thing. I'm not saying, but I think Donald Trump's thing was ridiculous.
It was, but this trial is almost like a payback for the Donald Trump thing. So, I mean, I think it's a crazy trial. But, we'll see in a day or two. It's almost over, and we'll see how he does.
He's going to be found innocent. And then the country is...
It's a rigged trial.
But then again, the country then gets even more upset because then it just draws the two different things. I mean...
But do you see Trump? He raised $200 million off of his case already.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole campaign is only $1 billion. He raised it in like 10 days.
And his
$200 million.
And True Social is still going strong.
Right. He's got money there.
And but I think the big thing right now is they had Garland just went up. He came in front of Congress. He's trying to make like it's not a two-tier justice system. They want to hear the audio tapes of Joe Biden with or when he had a special agent.
Well, I don't think they'll ever hear those audio tapes.
Do you know why?
Because he's not even going to debate. Whatever they say is not going to happen. You're not hearing audio tapes. If they try and turn the laptop computer on, it won't work. And
so you're saying he's not debating in June? That's at the end of this month.
He's not debating.
At the end of this month.
They're not going to hear the audio tapes, and that laptop in the courtroom right now doesn't work.
So what do you think happens between now and the end of the month that's going to come up that he's saying, I'm not debating?
So, first of all, let's clear up the issue with the audio tapes. Do you think they're going to play the audio tapes or not?
I think he's going to debate. I don't think they're going to hold off on the audio tapes. They might release it after he bows out after the debate. I think they replace him after the debate.
Okay. So I don't believe there's going to be a debate. There's some excuse. I don't know what the excuse will be.
It's over if he doesn't debate. It's over.
Not debating. How can he debate? He can't debate. Though he gave a great speech today, for Normandy.
But not the interview afterwards.
Yeah.
He gave an interview right after this thing. He ran out of juice.
Yeah.
And the guy started...
The Red Bulls ran out.
He basically said he's known Putin for 40 years.
Right.
Putin was working in a shoe store 40 years ago and doing some stuff for the KGB.
Right.
I grew up in I went to Delaware State. I did that.
He's not debating, Gabi. It's not happening.
I think they're going to let him debate.
How can they let him debate?
Because he's insisting.
It's like me debating.
Because he's insisting on running.
You're the winner, I'm the loser.
Because it's early. That's why the debate's so early this year. Once he debates and he messes up, they're going to bring in. I'll tell you who they're going to bring in. Whitmer.
All right.
That's who they're bringing in. That's who's going to run.
He's going to either say he's a convicted felon. He can't debate a convicted felon.
That's not going to work.
May go to jail. We're pushing, there'll be a postponement. We're pushing the debate off to see if he gets sentenced to jail.
The country wants to see the two candidates go. What's going to happen is he's going to debate. He's going to end up bombing. Then they're going to say before the convention, they're going to come up with someone. Can't be Newsom. They're going to come up with Governor Whitmer, who is Michigan. Hopefully she delivers Michigan. And they're going to go with that gamble. And by the way, they will choose a vice presidential candidate for Whitmer. They will then make an arrangement for Kamala Harris, to say, listen, back down. You got to go into the sunset. You were the vice president. You're not going to be president. It's going to be Whitmer and someone else. That's our ticket. And by the way, half the country...
that's a real sloppy mess.
Half the country, by the way, whoever they choose is going to go Democrat because they're not going to go. It's not like they have to come up from the bottom up. She already has half the country. And they might deliver Michigan, which is a big thing.
Yeah, it's huge.
So that's my guess, and also that the debate will happen. He will fall on his sword, and then they'll have to replace him. Right now, there was an article that was in the Wall Street Journal, 45 people. I mean, this guy, people are getting tired of how much energy he has behind the scenes. Did you hear Jon Stewart the other day?
Yeah.
Jon Stewart basically said, can you just show me that guy? Show me the guy behind the scenes that has all this energy.
Yeah, why are all these people lying for him?
Morning Joe, why?
Why are they all lying for him like this?
It's the emperor with no clothes.
It's crazy that everybody lies.
And it's the reputation. It's like, how do you turn on Morning Joe when all of a sudden you see something that's about to come on and you have to say, well, tried to pull that one over on you.
But it just seems like this guy Fauci, I tried to watch it. I couldn't even watch it. He was lying so much on TV.
How about that the whole the whole 6 feet thing was nothing. Didn't need that.
All these
mask.
people that died, maybe he goes to jail.
How many businesses shut down in California?
Oh, my God.
By the way, schools. Do you know they had to close schools because they didn't have a way to put the desks closer together, so you had to learn at home. Look at these. We have a bunch. By the way, 4th grade, half the grade can't go.
You know what I find intellectually unfair? I mean, when they talk about the statistics between Biden and Trump, and they say Trump lost 3 million jobs, like this Adam Schiff said that. But they don't say it was COVID.
I know.
They just say in his administration, he lost 3 million jobs.
And Joe Biden got him back when COVID came to an end.
Right. I mean, how intellectually unfair is that statement? Why not say, well, we had COVID and Trump lost 3 million jobs?
Well, Adam Schiff also said he lost this election by his peers, by a judge. And meanwhile, he's not mentioning that he pays $2 million a year to the judge's daughter.
Right.
As a thing.
Right.
And by the way, you want to know what a lot of people think about the whole New York trial?
Go ahead.
Just to let you know really quickly.
Are you selling watches, Gumby?
Nah, I got
you got to pay the $10,000.
I'm going to tell you what a lot of people feel about, like, that if you're open-minded. When someone says he got judged by his peers, he was found guilty, 34 count, da-da-da-da-da. Most people sit there and say, I'm not going to let 9 New Yorkers in a completely blue state that can't stand the guy, that they brought in the third person of the DOJ to come in here to try him in this bogus court with this judge. I'm not going to let these 9 New Yorkers represent the people from Iowa, Indiana, Kentucky, Oklahoma. That's not happening because they don't care. They don't want New Yorkers determining not just New Yorkers, because I'm not talking even upstate. We're not letting Manhattan, 9 people, determine who's the president of the United States.
Why? That's the way it's always been.
Because we look at because it's never been where a judge gives money to his opponent. There's never been a president.
They're just getting away with everything. It's like this thing with Fauci. I wouldn't even waste my time having him in Congress because it was an unprecedented pandemic. Everybody was in a panic. The respirators, they said, saved people, but they killed people. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on. So just leave it alone. Forget it.
So let me ask you a question.
It's done.
It's
over.
Trump was on Hannity last night. And the one point Hannity, set him up for, And by the way, ask him some real...
set him up in a good way or a bad way?
No, set him up where... gave him questions that are real questions.
Okay.
Like Jimmy Kimmel will have.
Do you notice his hair's a little screwy?
Yeah.
Now? What's with his hair?
He needs it done. It's kind of weird. It's like all over the place.
Yeah, it's like
But Jimmy Kimmel has Kamala Harris on, and he's asking her questions like, "Did you know that there's a strand of pot named after you called Kamala Kush?"
Right.
I mean, she is the border czar. And they just passed an executive order, and Jimmy Kimmel doesn't ask her one question. He doesn't say, by the way, he's 81 years old. You could be president. Nothing. All fun and games. Hannity asked some crazy questions. And one of the questions was, The fentanyl that's coming into the United States, what would you do to stop it? Like, what would you do? And I heard his answer, and the first thing I thought was like, whew, that's a pretty bold statement. He said that anybody who's dealing fentanyl, drug dealers, it's the death penalty. And
oh my God, all these liberal lawyers would challenge
I
that.
thought that's not like walking the white line. Like he basically said.
I like that, but I mean it'll never.
And
hold up.
as I listened to it,
Right.
and his answer was that the people that are dealing fentanyl at a little pin drop can kill 30 people. He said you could have drug dealers that are killing hundreds of people. Hundreds. He goes, they need the death penalty so that way they know what it is.
Well, look, when Saudi Arabia chopped up that journalist, I mean, Trump sat on his hands. He didn't do anything. He said that's what they do. That's how they deal with it. You know, and in the overall big picture of life, when he needed oil and the Saudi Arabia people gave it to him. I mean, you know,
but the more I
he
thought
can't
about
dictate,
how
they're going to run their country.
But the more I thought about his answer, desperate times needs desperate measures. And I thought, you know what? That's great. He's on record saying that. Like so you know that thing. Then Hannity asked him another question. Tell me, if you win, are you going to prosecute Joe Biden? Are you going to go after? And he said, no, the country can't afford to do this anymore. We're not going to do that. Now, personally, I think that's a bullshit answer because he is going after every single person.
Well, he could never say it right now.
Not now.
Yeah.
Well, he said the other thing about
Who's this attorney general?
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz is tough. I say bring Hoagie Chris Christie back. Chris, I'm a
Ted
Hoagie
Cruz.
Christie.
Ted Cruz, because Abbott, the governor of Texas, will get to replace him with his own pick.
Right, that's a good point.
And Ted Cruz is going to go for Bear. And I also told you these other questions.
And he's our alma mater. He's a Harvard guy.
Yeah, and I told you, did you not know that like someone like DeSantis or they can't be from the same state? You know, Marco Rubio, if he chose him as a
I saw last weekend twice.
Right, but he can't. He has to move. Do you know if you're in the same state?
Moving to Arizona or something?
No, if Donald Trump chose him as a vice president, you can't. A vice president can't live in the same state as the president.
Yeah, he said he's going to move to Arizona.
Okay, so he moves to Arizona. And by the way, someone else will move to Washington, D.C. or something like that. You know, that Donaldson could be.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming up with all these different choices.
But why would he pick Marco Rubio if that's the case? I mean,
he's not.
Oh, he's not going to pick him.
And I don't even think he's going to choose Bergman from North Dakota.
Who's he going to pick?
I think it's still like a surprise. I think it could still maybe be Nikki Haley.
I say it's his daughter, Ivanka.
No, it won't be Ivanka, but I got.
He thinks the world of her.
He does, but she's now trying to like come on the sidelines a little bit.
All right, maybe it'll be Mike Pompeo. Listen to my argument for Mike Pompeo. The guy was CIA director.
That's who I like.
Mike Pompeo.
Great.
Secretary of State.
Great choice.
CIA director. He's ready to be president. The next day, he can handle any foreign leader.
Fantastic choice.
Right?
Fantastic choice.
He's friends with Bibi. Him and Bibi are tight.
Doesn't make a difference where he lives right now. He's fine.
I like him.
And by the way, I'm ready for him to be president when his term's up.
He lost all that weight.
And he can be president right afterwards.
I like it.
Me too, especially with what's going on in the world.
He's got the best resume.
Right.
He's a brilliant guy.
Genius move. Cutty.
Thank you.
Now that is a...
Thank you, folks.
Ted Cruz... him, that's already coming together.
We could do this. Well, there's no more Rex Tillersons or any of these guys.
Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, this time Trump.
I mean, he found his attorney general that prosecuted him.
Right. He had 4 years of on the job training. He knows where he's going this time. He's going to go get the right people.
So now I'm going.
Who's Secretary of Treasury? Because Janice Yellen's out.
Paulson maybe.
Do you think Paulson?
Or it could be Jamie Dimon.
Do you think he brings back Steve Mnuchin?
Yeah.
He could bring Steve back.
And who's the other
I
guy?
like Jamie Dimon. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, these are some of the things.
Yeah.
And he's going to put Elon Musk, I bet you, on board somewhere.
No way. The guy would have to divest himself. Do you know? Because I know this guy personally from the Hamptons, who was on Trump's cabinet. If you are selected for the cabinet, you have to divest your personal interests. This guy had $300 million worth of his company's stock, and he had to sell it to go on the cabinet. The way the laws are set up, you get to sell that stock tax-free if you take a cabinet post. You have no tax ramifications. Let's say it's a 20% capital gains tax. You don't pay it. You're taking a government cabinet position. That's why they get these super high-powered guys. Like Rex Tillerson had to sell all his Exxon stock, and it was a tax-free event.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Could the government afford Musk?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying about Musk.
Could the government?
He could sell $200 billion in Tesla stock, but without him at the helm, I mean, would Tesla go way down? I don't know.
By the way, not to say anything, Boeing has so much riding on this rocket to the space station, and by the way, it's leaking. Like,
is it?
It's leaking something like hydrogen or something like that. So now they don't know if it can get them back. Could you imagine?
Wait a second. I didn't hear this. You're saying this could be like Apollo 13?
No. They're in the space station.
Oh.
But don't forget, they need this to come back.
So can they send another one up?
Well, they have to see if they can fix this hydrogen. It's leaking.
God.
Boeing is leaking. Could you imagine? Like, there's a lot at stake here. If this Boeing can't get them home.
Oh, my God. What a mess.
What happens to the stock of Boeing if it can't get them home?
Holy smokes. I mean, it probably isn't a moneymaker for them, but the confidence in the company is way down. I mean, with the doors flying off and bolts coming off. And now
don't forget, they had to scrap the first shuttle going up there like last week.
Putin always has a rocket he could send up and get our guys and give them a ride home.
I know. And then also you have Elon Musk.
But anyway, you want to talk a little fun like this Caitlin Clark drama?
I would love to.
Oh, my God. So let me give a little foundation. Caitlin Clark, as we know, one of the greatest. Cutman Jr. doesn't like this statement. GOAT, greatest of all time, women's basketball, collegiate basketball player. Now she's a pro. So this week was...
even though University of Indiana women's basketball team is our favorite basketball of this program.
It is.
University of Indiana. Go Hoosiers, baby.
Right. Anyway, I mean, why don't you lay out for our fans here, our listeners, what happened this week? Caitlin Clark is now the pros. Now, obviously, everybody's salary went up, but she makes the money on endorsements. I mean, she's making, $20 million a year on
So they have a salary cap, like just like rookies in the NFL and in the NBA. It's a scale. So her pay is going to be less than other WNBA players that have already went past the 3 years. So she makes not that much money. That's why a lot of WNBA
what's
players...
not that much money,
I think a couple $100,000 a year.
Oh, okay.
And that's why a lot of WNBA players, when this season ends, because, by the way, it's a short season, it ends in October when the NBA starts. And that's why a lot of these WNBA players play in Russia and Europe, and they have to, just like Grenier that went to Russia, that she brought her weed there and she was held captive. They should have
left her there.
But she tried to make extra money over there. Right. That's what a lot of women do. So right now, if you want to know the difference between men and women and how they look at things and how emotions can change things, and I don't want to be
now,
I know
easy.
But when Tiger Woods,
we're gonna lose hair.
No. When Tiger Woods came onto the PGA Tour, and he was getting all this press,
right? And
everybody was talking like he was the greatest thing in the world. He had a couple players under their breath saying, we were here. Our tour has been here for so many years.
Didn't Raymond Floyd make a derogatory remark about the dinner at the Masters?
Fuzzy Zoeller. Fuzzy Zoeller. And by the way, he made one
I can't believe you knew that.
Fuzzy Zoeller, he made one comment because the champion gets to choose the dinner.
Right.
And he said, so so we're going to have watermelon and spare ribs or something like that.
Can you imagine
Fuzzy Zoeller lost every endorsement he had.
What a fucking idiot.
The guy was, by the way, super well liked on tour. His whole career came down because he badmouthed this guy. But for the most PGA Tour, they said, you know what? We are making more money than we ever made before. The winning purse has gone up like crazy. Viewership just as crazy of what Tiger Woods brought to us. No, these women have to turn around and say, how do we bash this girl and make it where it's a racial thing? Because some of them feel, and by the way, 70% of the WNBA is gay. She's heterosexual.
Is that a real statistic?
Yes.
Wow.
And she is heterosexual. So they have a problem with that she doesn't refer to herself as he, she, them, this, that.
Yeah.
And that she's heterosexual and she's white. And that she's getting all this endorsement. So they can't control themselves.
But how can they They physically assaulted her during the game.
And the league really didn't do too much until afterwards.
I don't understand that. Why isn't that girl going forever?
So
out of the league.
What Caitlin Clark has to do is say,
why didn't the benches clear?
All Caitlin Clark has to do is say, listen, I got this contract. It's for 3 years for this peanuts money compared to what I'm making. For the next 3 years, I'm going to live in the south of France, and I'm going to play for the French team. And I'm going to make more than $200,000 a year because I'm going to go all through Europe and everything. Good luck, WNBA. I'll maybe come back in 3 years. Thanks for all the. If she left the WNBA would not be able to recover because the TV sets would be turned off. It would be over. It would be treated like the Harlem Globetrotters, like it's no longer a viable league. That's the power she has. I would threaten the league if you don't do something. I'm out of here.
But let me ask you a question. The difference between men and women. I mean, in a man's sport, let's call it baseball, you hit a batter, the bench is clear. Why didn't the benches clear?
Because she didn't have one player on her team that stuck up for her.
Nobody.
Right.
I'm watching this. I'm like,
because
are you
it's
kidding?
racial. Because it's racial.
Really?
And why do you think the other one, Reese, sat there and celebrated with her thing like, good job, you knocked her. That would be like a baseball player, going up to his pitcher after the pitcher beans the guy in the head and high fives the pitcher like you did a good job.
Right.
I mean, no, you don't do that.
It was. You have to try and YouTube it. It was an assault.
It was
a physical assault, and it was so egregious that you're saying like, how's this?
And the next game, by the way, she got 5 points, the lowest, because she's like it. You know what it's like when you go into a hostile environment and you feel everybody's against you. The good thing that she has going for her, the good thing she has going for her is she makes her money on the 3-point line and beyond.
Right.
But if she made her money going inside, she wouldn't come out alive. If she would be getting fouled all the time. It's like Steph Curry. People love to see the long ball, and she would be great for the league. Do you know day one? Do you know what she did day one that she came into the league?
What?
She said, "Why are we flying commercial? At University of Iowa, we had charter jets. Do you know the next day the WNBA had charter jets for every team that they no longer have to take commercial airlines?"
Is that true?
True.
Where'd they get the money for that?
Her.
Oh my God!
And the television and the rings.
These people are idiots to fight with
them. They're flying on a charter jet because of this person. All she has to do is take her talents, like LeBron took it to South Beach. She could take it to the south of France.
And then of course we have the baseball player Ohtani. Now the number of this guy, they say he stole up to $19 million from him. And before it was like $1 million or $2 million. Now it's $19 million. And I'm trying to figure out, doesn't this guy have agents and accountants and he has $700 million?
I'll tell you the problem with.
How do you steal $19 million from somebody?
I'll tell you. The guy's worth $700 million.
How do you steal?
Because no one said he was smart. He was just a great baseball player in Japan, and they're throwing him all this money, and he knows nothing about finances, and he's 23 years old, 24 years old, and doesn't really know too much. And this guy, he trusted, and he didn't really know because the money. He's making so much money. He's saying, "I don't even want my salary. Just hold on to it, and I'll invest it and let it compound and everything. I'm going to live off of my endorsements. $100 million a year in endorsements.
It's just insane.
And Major League Baseball, their biggest problem that they have is if you went up to the NFL and they're now gambling and stuff, they said to their players, anybody who gets caught gambling on NFL, you're banned from the league. And all these players are American, and they know that's it. Well, baseball, I would say 3/4 of baseball players are from Central America, they're from Europe, they're from somewhere else. They don't know our laws as far as gambling. And by the way, Asians, they love to gamble. So you got these baseball players or the Pirates. There's 3 guys that are just banned right now
for
in
life,
baseball.
right?
For life. They didn't know. They're 22 years old. All of a sudden, they're betting baseball. They had no. One guy lost. He bet on his own team. He lost every game. So they don't really know. Ohani, Japanese players, they gamble on everything.
So do you think it was Ohani? This guy was betting for Ohani?
I think so.
Yeah, I do too.
And I also think that Ohani, as naive as these guys are, is like saying, listen, you got to take the sword from me, fall on the sword from me, everything will be okay. I think what they're finding out is this guy's looking at 25 years in jail.
Is it that much?
Oh, yeah, this is major.
Oh, boy.
Now, let me ask you a question. If he had to do a year for Ohani and Ohani says, listen, here's $5 million I'm going to put in the bank. You might do a year in some little thing.
Right.
If you're looking at 25 years, you know what I'm doing?
Rat.
What do you...
You're becoming a rat.
What do you want to know about Ohtani? And let me tell you everything else and every other player out there, and he could blow the whole league.
Oh, my God.
If you think Ohtani's the only guy, especially with sports betting, all it takes is a friend. I could go up to you and say, Cutty, go up to the Hard Rock on your app. I won $4,000 on this, and I'm just writing you, I'm giving you cash.
Well, what they say is the problem is these referees or umpires, they're gamblers. And some of them get in trouble. And that's how these games get thrown. You know, they say to the bookie,
that happened in the NBA.
Yeah, I can't pay you.
With Donnelly.
Right. I can't pay you. And they say, all right, like, make some calls our way, you know, whatever. And that's how it starts.
Well, I gotta go back into another serious topic now.
Steve Bannon.
No, I want to talk. I want to talk about what Biden said to Netanyahu. And by the way, going up to him and saying, I think you're prolonging this war for your own political gain. I mean, why is Israel in this position? Why can't they just finish the job?
Well, I think, you know, if you go back to our prior shows, we both said, look, Israel's got to go in and do this really fast because we're going to lose the PR war. There's no way a long war is in Israel's favor. We talked about it over and over again. I just think that from the very beginning, Biden and the Americans tried to handcuff the Israelis and just wouldn't let them go annihilate these people. Just go in there. It's like atomic bomb, not a nuclear bomb, but atomic the place and just clean it out. Look, we're learning a very valuable lesson. How many hostages are alive?
For all we know, it could be none.
0, right?
Right.
So at the beginning, we can't do this. All the hostages, we can't flood the tunnels. We can't do anything. Well, guess what? 6 months later, all these kids died. All these kids got mutilated.
What you're not hearing is some of them are American. Could you imagine if it was these Americans? Look what we gave up for this Grenier, the basketball player. We gave up a guy who was a stone cold killer for her.
Right.
Why are these American Jews, why is it that we're sitting back saying, why doesn't Biden say, we're going to level your country unless these hostages, Americans, are back?
Well, what I don't understand is nobody figures the residual effect of anything. So now you have all these all this crap on campuses, residual effect of this Israeli war. And you have all the residual effect of these immigrants, all these kids dying from fentanyl. Nobody thinks about the residual effects of these things that they're not dealing with. You know, it's like when George Bush invaded Iraq. He didn't think about how am I going to run this country. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Afghanistan, the residual effect of that.
Or the illegal immigrants that are coming into our country, where are they going to go to school? And then all of a sudden, with no jobs, that's why you see them joining gangs, by the way.
Right.
And that's why they shot the police officers. But going back, I'll tell you how you can clear up some of these schools. It did not happen overnight, this anti-Semitism in the schools. It took time. And in order to clean it up, you have to be able to go up to all these presidents of these universities, not just the Ivy Leagues, but a lot of them. And you got to have a heart-to-heart and say, listen, we're going to have to cut back on foreign students coming into our country to learn, and foreign professors. Columbia University, I think there was 14,000 foreigners that came in. You have to say, for the next 4 years, in order to go through the system, 1,000.
But aren't they giving so much money to the schools, those countries? How are they going to deal with that? These 14,000
They have endowments. They have so much money that they have to weather this storm. Otherwise,
okay.
They have to weather. It's 4 years.
Right.
All it takes is the graduating class.
Gavi's a problem solver.
But that's the way to do it, is to say, okay, listen, you're not going to argue, but then the next year, there's less kids. But you're not going to have a kid that's going to apply. Give your thing why they should come to Columbia. Please let me come to Columbia. I'm going to be a great student. And then the next thing you know, they have a tent pitched out front saying "Free Palestine." That's not going to work.
Right.
You got to know who's coming into your.
I like that idea.
It's a 4 year. It's a 4 year, and you're not going to be able to fix it overnight. 4 years.
Great idea, Gavi. Well, I can't believe our show's over.
Yeah.
That was a spirited debate. I'm walking out of here with 10 grand. I'm feeling really good. I'm going to go out to dinner tonight.
Let me ask you right now, where the country is at. Does Donald Trump, is he the next president of the United States?
Absolutely not. He will not win.
So you think Joe Biden...
It's a rigged deal. Hunter Biden trial's rigged. Trump trial's rigged. The election's rigged. It's just like everybody with this Federal Reserve, with the stock market going up and down. They think they're going to lower rates every time. They're not lowering rates. Rates aren't going lower. There's still inflation. I filled up my tank the other day. It was $5.60. It's still inflation. I don't think Donald Trump can win. I don't think he can win. It's rigged. It's like last time Pennsylvania was up 600,000 at night of the election. The next day lost the state. How'd that happen?
So you think Joe Biden, that's like falling in the... By the way, if you ever saw him from September,
he's not going to
before October 7th to now, he's a different person. You think he's going to go on and Kamala Harris is going to be president of the United States?
Yeah. He's not going to debate. The audio tapes you're never going to hear. The laptop doesn't work.
Our country. Then what happens to all the illegal immigrants that come in and all? What happens?
They're going to start voting, changing the
so
population.
Our country could be forever.
It's done, Gavi. That's why we're down here in this bubble. In Boca Raton, we're like the bubble boy.
I got to ask you one other hypothetical question. If Donald Trump wanted to raise money.
Right.
If Melania went on OnlyFans.
I like it. And like some skimpy, she did that in her prior life.
What do you think the Republican Party could raise overnight?
$1 billion. Yeah. No, what they should do is get her pictures in the lingerie from 30 years ago.
Right, but what happens if right now Melania did one quick OnlyFans? How many people would sign up?
Well, he raised $200 million in 5 days, at least that much. I would pay. Wouldn't you?
Melania would.
I'd like to see what's going on there.
By the way, she would clean up.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good fundraiser. I think that she's going to come out.
Could you imagine Donald Trump having a fundraiser with Melania?
Well, I think Melania should do it and just say, "Stormy,
right?
You're a little bit
hold my beer, Stormy. Let me show you how it's done.
You're a little on the plump side. Take a look at me. I'm gorgeous. I'm hot. You think Donald's leaving me for you? You're dreaming."
I was just thinking that Melania could go up to Stormy and say, What did you make? $130,000.
Yeah, right.
$130,000.
This pocketbook's $130,000.
Give me 1 minute. 1 minute on OnlyFans, and I'm going to raise $3 million in 1 minute.
Right.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine what she
should trash talk her.
Right.
I think she should come out and do some trash talking.
Yeah.
I would like to hear that. All right, Gavi. Well, what a great show. We're in for another great week.
We might have to do it a little early next week because I'm heading to Naples next
again.
week.
You're going away again?
Naples. It's like
jeez, what are you doing over there?
Alley. I'm going to spend Father's Day with my daughter who's flying down,
nice.
So I'm going to do a little
nice.
Naples action. I want to see the sunset into the ocean rather than sunrise.
All right.
These are the little things. We got hurricane season's going to be
coming
popping up.
Get that furniture off the balcony,
How long are you staying down here?
Well, I my eye protocol that I'm doing, and my dad's not doing great, so I'm kind of hanging around.
Here.
Yeah, I'm here. So, but I'm getting out of here soon. Or I'm buying a car with a remote control that I can turn the air conditioner on before I get,
I have that.
You can turn your car on before you get in it.
It's a game changer.
I need it.
It's
really
a game
bad.
changer. You go like this. You click it twice, and that way, when my dog comes in, I'm cool as can be.
I love it.
And the seats have air conditioning.
Oh yeah, I got to get one of them. All right, folks.
All right, we'll talk to you. See ya.
Have a great week. Great seeing you, Gavi.